What you want? Oh, sorry.
Hello everyone, welcome back. This is Matt and Steve, SC, bringing you some intense StarCraft. We've seen some great games tonight. As you can see, this is the Ever OSL, round of 36, Group K. This is Leta versus Pure. Pure doing a great job taking out Hyuk in the best of 3 series, 2-1. Now is going to play Leta, who has been seeded into this. Well, yeah, seeded into this. Anyways, from the last OSL. And we already saw that Pure took Leta down in the first game. So Leta is going to be on the back foot now, trying to come back in this series. He's got the next 2 games to do it. If he doesn't win this game, it's all over. But if he can win this, he can force a game 3.
Right.
But honestly, it's going to be tough. Both players doing some very interesting builds in the last game. We saw what was almost looked like kind of the modified Deep 6 build from Leta. He started off with just a few barracks, but eventually had 6 or 7 barracks, trying to go for that time push. And Pure at the same time build a lot more gateways than normal. I would think a normal, fast expand, you would follow up probably with an extra 2 gateways and have 4 gateways so you can defend yourself against a Terran. But 6 gateways is definitely a little excessive. So both players kind of going for a timing push, both hitting each other almost at the same time. And unfortunately, Pure got the best of Leta there because Leta had Medic Marines, which, while decent against Dragoons, just aren't that good against any Protoss army in a large force. So typically, Vultures are better, and then eventually once Pure got Templar, it was all over from there. So I don't think Leta should have persisted with that once it failed. He should have probably just built some factories, but he already invested a lot of money. I mean, 7 or 6 barracks, that's like something like $900 or 900 minerals or something like that. So a lot of money invested into that build. And we'll see what builds we're going to see here on this map. This is going to be played on the Little Child, or El Nino, as the map is called.
You and your Spanish 101. Boy, Steve dropping the builds, man. I just want to randomly be like, oh yeah, man, he went for a Gateway Hex build, in the beginning there, and just see if people notice.
Well, the only reason I know that build is because another player did it, and Moletrap actually amazingly called it. Although that wasn't technically, the Deep 6 is basically when you do kind of what Leta did, well, minus the fast expand, and get 6 barracks and then do basically what Leta did. But Leta originally only had like 4, so I don't know what qualifies as what. But basically, it was a timing push.
Right. Well, and the Deep 6 is it's called the Deep 6 because pretty much you're in deep if it's not successful, because you just pretty much go all out barracks, and then try to overwhelm. But anyways, we're on a new map. We're on a new day here on the Nino, which is my translation of El Nino. Anyways, so we're going to see the scouts go out here now. Of course, this is a 3-player map, so, the snowed out version of Outsider. So, but again, one thing that's interesting is we haven't seen a lot of tricking. As you mentioned in the game with Pure and Hyuk, Hyuk could have easily try to trick a drone or, trick something through to try to take, there's like a kind of a protected expansion area at the top right, top left, well, actually at all 4 corners of the map. So we haven't really seen people really taking advantage of that very often. It's actually really easy for Protoss to do it using a pylon trick to get a probe through the minerals. And it's also fairly easy as well to do something similar with the SCV. We do see the scouts both going in the wrong direction here. We don't see anything weird going on. There is not any sort of proxy play at this point. Both people scouting in the wrong direction, so obviously they're going to know where their opponents are. And it looks like the first scout is going to come out here from Pure, so it is going to get down. A very, very nice Wallen, though. It looks like, unless there's a little gap by the 2 supply depots, I don't believe it's there. But we're going to finally see some more standard play from Leta so far, at least. We don't see... Nope, he's going 2 factory. So right as I say that, I have to choke on my words. Leta is going to go for a fast build here. He's going to go 2 factory. He's going to try to pump out... we'll just get a very early mecha push out here. And I guess that is a Wallen. It looks like there's some gaps, but that is a proper Wallen.
Yeah, that's just the way it looks. Right. That is a Wallen. And it looks like, Pure is not going to be able to get much done with that probe/zealot. Leta is going for 2 factories. Now, that's the more standard fast build, though, so certainly nothing as crazy as we saw in the last game.
Right.
Right, so typically Terran either expands or they'll do this 2-fact push. How they expand, whether they go out with a few Marines or they make they fake the double and they go out with a tank and some Marines and a Vulture and try to be aggressive, or they actually do the double, which is what Leta's doing here with actually 2 add-ons. So it looks like he's probably going to have either Vulture Speed and Vulture Mines and Tank with Siege. It looks like, as you were mentioning earlier, Pure did actually trick that Pro back there, and he's going to keep that for a scout, so he knows when Leta expands. I think the reason why we don't see... Oh, and it looks like, yeah, 2 Dragoons coming up, so quite a bit of pressure here on the front door, but there's the tank, so that's going to pretty much end that as long as Leta doesn't get his tank sniped off. Has to be careful about that, though. Only one SCV repairing that Supply Depot. That's a little risky. Second SCV coming now, but I don't know if it's going to be there in time. It could go down.
Oh!
Supply Depot does go down, and this isn't game ending or anything, but it does suck that that Supply Depot went down, because that's going to supply lock Leta a little bit. It looks like... Actually, it looks like Leta is still okay with his supply, so not going to hurt him that much. But it is unfortunate. Leta's probably going to be building... Actually, no, he's probably not going to be building a command center very soon because he has 2 factories. Now, I don't know if we saw a second tank there, if Pure's going to be tipped off to the fact that there's 2 factories coming out. So we'll have to see Pure's base and see if he's reacting to this at all. But he hasn't seen the expansion yet. Pretty soon, by the lack of that expansion, he's going to know that there is a 2 factor. It looks like Observatory or Robotics Facility already going up, and Robotics Support Bay...
Yay, Reaver.
Going down, so that's good. Pure's going to have the Reavers to counter that, and it looks like Starport going up for Leta. So Leta might be thinking about dropping some of these tanks into Pure's base, or dropping some Ultras into Pure's base, but Pure hasn't expanded yet, so I think he may be tipped off to this, and yeah, if he gets a peek at that, which he should pretty soon, he's going to be tipped off, but it might be a little late. There's already 3 tanks and 2 Vultures coming into Pure's base, so we're going to have to see what Pure has in his base to hold this off.
Right, I actually think Leta might be going for a scouting Wraith because he didn't have any sort of scouting, and if he cannot push into Pure's base here, he might end up going for that, which would also be a great counter to any sort of shuttle play. So Leta could be in a pretty good position here to take an advantage in this game, and we're going to see how both of these players micro. Now there is the shuttle going out, and of course waiting for the Reaver to pop as well. If that Reaver can pop out fairly quickly, it's going to be able to do a lot. I think that there is definitely this is going to be held off unless the tanks can get sieged, but squeezing through only one of them, but getting a full scout. So Leta might not need to build the Wraith at this point if he doesn't want to, but if he can, he is going to. I don't know if he scouted the shuttle or not, but good job leading these Dragoons right into the mine. If that Dragoon follows, nope, but it looks like getting microed around there. But the shuttle is coming, and Leta is bringing his units back. He is racing the shuttle to his base. Oh no, there's a tree. Oh no, the tank got stuck in the tree. The shuttle is possibly going to be able to take out some SCVs. You see Leta there going, okay, all right, man, I got to bear down here. Right on the mine. All right, but taking the mine shot for that was actually really good play by Pure. Pure 1 kill, and actually Leta's SCVs are gone. They have left town, other than obviously the gas mining SCVs would stay there. So Leta is going to be able to shoo this way. There is the Wraith. That is exactly what you got to do. He was building a Wraith from the get-go. Wow!
That's not gonna...
Yes! Leta doing an awesome job right here. This was very, very good play, very good micro. SCVs were gone. Wraith was out, able to really clean up with that. So a failed harassment attempt by Pure. Once Siege goes out for these tanks, which should be coming any moment, then these tanks are going to be able to siege up here and do a good job defending. I think that moment is going to come very, very quickly here. There it is. Siege is up, taking out one of the Dragoons, and then we do see the Speed Vultures, of course, are going to be able to start laying mines all over the map. So I don't think Pure, is way behind or anything like that, but I think Leta at this point has definitely taken command of the game as far as just really smart play so far. And although what Leta needs to do at this point is he needs to keep the pressure on, and he needs to try to, if possible, do some sort of harassment so that he can easily expand at this point. And there it is. There's a CC for the expansion.
Looks like we do see the command center going up. I was going to actually mention before we saw that Wraith on screen, what you said earlier was spot on about that Wraith being there to counter the robotics, or the Reaver. And that's exactly what Leta did. Leta doing a good job this time of predicting what Pure was going to do. Going for that robotics support bay and getting that Reaver out, and the Wraith is a great counter to that. And in addition, another thing that the Wraith does that I think he could have used had that 2-fact push gone a little better is Wraith provides spotting up that hill. So that would be one way that Leta could have broke that ramp. He could have used the Wraith to dodge in and out a little bit against those Dragoons until it got killed. He could have used it to spot up that ramp, but it didn't look like he did that there. But the Wraith did come out to fend off that Reaver, so it was a really good timing for Leta that Wraith came out. It looks like now Leta does have a dropship going up at the top right, so we're probably going to drop some siege tanks behind this base. Pure did a good job of getting his expansion up, actually, while kind of attacking and being aggressive, so very smart play there, but unfortunately it's going to get stopped cold right now, at least at the moment, so he's not going to be able to get a lot done. One thing I like about this map is you can see that little Mineral Patcher. Oh, Pure's got to be careful not to drop on top of these mines. He's hovering right over those mines. It's dangerous territory. He did see the mines go off, though. And, oh, look at that.
Whoa.
Tricked out mine there. One Zealot getting taken down. It looks like only a Zealot and a Dragoon in the shuttle, so that's not going to be enough to fend this off. Unfortunately, Pure just isn't able to get forces back there. Oh, and a big mine going off in that Dragoon. Luckily, he saved the other Dragoon, but it looks like he has scared Leta enough to move back, and so Leta just now getting his expansion up, and there go the SCVs to that expansion. So overall, pretty even, except that Leta might have a little bit of an advantage here. That he's got the 2 bases to Pure's 2 bases, so a little bit of an advantage for the Terran. But otherwise, Pure's not out of the game by any means.
I think that Leta might have more of a psychological game going right now on Pure. Leta's able to harass. He's able to keep Pure busy. He's able to clean up Pure's harass. Although, granted, Pure did a good job defending that. There's the comm set up there, of course, very necessary. And